We've got some inside stats and numbers that are going to make you look at the Cleveland Browns Week 3 win and say, it's 100 times better than we thought. It's even wilder than you could have imagined, folks. Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue. I'm still feeling good. I'm still pumped up about Cleveland's win, but there also is some bad news we have to get to first before we celebrate and we give you the inside numbers. You may have seen now that Dawand Jones is out for the year due to a knee injury. Jones is going to need surgery, and that's a blow to Cleveland's offensive line. We're going to talk about this impact, like I said, before we get to the good news, because this was breaking, just came out today. Cleveland's depth takes a hit. Now, Jones, he wasn't off to the best start this season. We'll talk about that. But he was a good piece to have in the rotation because the offensive line is struggling as a whole. And what I think is going to happen now is Cornelius Lucas going to step up and get more reps. They're also probably going to potentially utilize Tevin Jenkins later in the season, the former Chicago Bear, who has an injury history himself, but Cleveland is definitely going to have to do some shifting around. You're going to want to look out and see how this impacts the offensive line, which, like I said, already needs help. They were struggling. They were one of the teams that has given up the most pressure in the league through 3 weeks so far. They're ranked towards the bottom half of teams, and Jack Conklin's hurt. We haven't seen him play in 2 weeks. So they'll also utilize KT Leviston, who they acquired from the Rams earlier this year, to probably replace Dawand Jones for the immediate term solution. But Cleveland is going to need a little bit of help now. Dawand Jones, let's talk about him as a player. Guy's nearly 400 pounds, 6'8". He's a monster out of the Ohio State University, and he has not allowed a sack so far through 2025. So that's all good. But when you watch the film, you got to be honest, he's a little bit slow. It's pretty easy for opposing edge rushers to blow right by him. Because of his size, he's huge. No one's going straight through him. But he's committed a lot of holding penalties. He's let a lot of guys get to the outside and get right past him. He doesn't have the quick lateral movement that some other offensive linemen have just because of his big size. So it is unfortunate to lose Dawand Jones for the season, but it's not like he's a star offensive tackle. And Kevin Stefanski says that they are going to turn in Jones's injury play to the NFL to see if it was a dirty hit by a Green Bay Packers safety. It's something we're not going to show in case people are squeamish to injuries. But if you watch the play, you could make the case that it's a dirty hit. And now Dawand Jones has another season-ending injury on his tally. So it is unfortunate, folks. But with bad news also comes the good news that we can get into now. Make sure you're subscribed to the Browns Report. We are pushing to 52,000 subscribers, folks. We got you covered with all breaking news in Cleveland, daily content about the Browns, and live watch parties, which are electric. 153 subs away from 52K, folks. Smash that subscribe button if you're watching and you're not subbed, but you love the Cleveland Browns. All right. Here's what made Cleveland's win wild and crazy for us. First of all, Andre Schmidt's 55-yard game winner was the longest walk-off field goal in Browns history. Now, I know I got some Cade York fans in the chat probably saying, what about the 58-yarder you hit? It wasn't a walk-off. In terms of Browns walk-off field goals, Andre Schmidt's was the longest. And look at this cold photo. That ball's lined up on the Cleveland Browns logo. Frame it, hang it up, maybe drive down to Canton, put it in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That is a cold shot. Andre Schmidt from 55 yards out, folks, to win that game. Take a screenshot right now. It's electric. Folks, we finally have a kicker in Cleveland. Well, until he misses another kick later in the season. But enjoy it right now. It's electric. Andre Schmidt is a Cleveland legend for the time being. Another good positive note from the Browns win. No one can do anything about Myles Garrett. Number 95 is unguardable. The Green Bay Packers were throwing triple teams at 95. You can't do that now when we have Mason Graham. We have Malik Collins, one of the most underrated interior pass rushers in the league. There is absolutely nothing that teams can do to stop Myles Garrett. And every single play, you'll see there's at least one guy chipping him. He's getting hit by at least two players before he can even get to the quarterback, and it doesn't matter. Double team, triple team. You try it, it's not going to work. Myles Garrett is still elite, and when you look at the NFL's sack leaders so far in 2025, despite being double teamed consistently, despite being triple teamed. Myles Garrett is tied second in the league in sacks through 3 weeks. He's already got 4. It's remarkable what we're watching. Savor the greatness, folks, because Myles Garrett is here to make his case to be DPOY once again. And the Browns defense as a whole is amazing so far this year. Are you starting to hear the buzz about the Browns D? I've been talking about it for weeks on the show. Now you're seeing it on social media. They rank first in total defense out of every team in the NFL, all 32. Cleveland is allowing the fewest yards per game, 204.3. The Browns also third in the NFL as a whole in sacks, 11. See, that's what happens. When you try to count too much for Myles Garrett, which you have to, you forget we got 3 other stars on the defensive line. The Browns also have the best rushing defense in the league, numbers-wise. They give up the fewest rush yards per game, just 57.3 through 3 weeks. Remember, Cleveland is facing some star-studded offenses too. These are not gimmick stats. They're ranked first in these categories after facing Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, those 2 teams are Super Bowl contenders. And then Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, who they also shut down with Chase Brown as well. It's remarkable. It's not an overreaction to call this defense a Super Bowl defense. That's right, folks. Go watch my video that I just made about how the Browns are Super Bowl contenders. It's my Overreaction Monday. I don't think I'm overreacting when I say the defense would be contending if the offense was helping them out. They're top 5 in the league. I'm hearing people argue this might be the best defense in football, folks. It's electric. Now, another point in the game that will surprise you is the improbable victory that Cleveland had. It's more of a miracle than you think, folks. We're going to look at a moment where it seemed like the Packers were running away with this game and the Browns had no chance. 3 minutes, 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Green Bay was up 10-3. Folks, there's about 3 minutes left in this ball game on a third down. Their Packers had a 95% win probability at this point. Grant Delpit jumps the passing lane, gets an interception, runs it back to the Green Bay 4. The game looked over, and Cleveland pulls off what is statistically the biggest upset of the young NFL season so far. At 7.5-point underdogs, the Browns pulled off a miracle win with a 5% chance to win with 3 minutes left in the game. Oh, thank the heavens, folks. The Cleveland Browns pulled it off. Doesn't that just make it seem more miraculous, more wild? Were you believing at that point in the game? Like the video if you still believed. Like the video if you had faith in the Brownies. And if you didn't have faith until you actually saw the final score, like the video anyway, because it was improbable. Folks, more bright spots for Cleveland came out of this win, though, to help you out going forward. It's not just the defense. We've got a star running back in the making. You look at the rushing leaders for rookie running backs so far. Quinshon Judkins has the most rush yards of any, and he didn't play week 1. He had 10 carries in week 2, and he's got more rushing yards than Ashton Jeanty, than Amarian Hampton, than Bill Krosky-Merritt. It's remarkable, folks. We have a star. What a great draft pick by the Cleveland Browns. Look at his performance against the Packers, a defense that has not given up many yards to running backs. Well, Quinshon was able to average 5.2 yards a rush, 94 yards on the ground, a rushing touchdown. Cleveland's only touchdown of the game came from the rookie out of Ohio State. Now, that doesn't even speak to his greatness around the league in rookie running backs also, because he's got 58 yards after forcing a missed tackle. That's second among rookie running backs. So he leads all rookies in rushing yards. He's second in rushing yards after forcing misses. He's elusive. He's powerful. He's hard to tackle, ladies and gentlemen. Quinshon Judkins can be a star running back in Cleveland. And you pair him with Dylan Sampson, it's an electric rookie running back mix. I want to know from the folks in the comments, is Quinshon Judkins the best rookie running back in the NFL? If you think so, type Y for yes. If you don't think so, maybe you still give the edge to Jeanty or whoever else. You can type N for no. But I think based on the numbers and just what we've seen in 2 games from Quinshon, you have a serious case that Andrew Berry made the best rookie running back selection of the 2025 NFL Draft. We've got some more stats to get to about the Cleveland Browns, including Mason Graham. But first, I'd love to tell you about our friends over at Tushy. Huge thank you to Tushy for sponsoring this video. Men will life hack everything but their toilet paper consumption. Using a Tushy bidet means you leave the bathroom so much cleaner than when you walked in. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code CHAT at checkout. Personally, I'm a very clean person, a bit of a clean freak, one might say. I shower every day, wear deodorant, sanitize my hands all the time. I just don't like not feeling clean. Tushy is a bidet that helps me feel clean everywhere I go. Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. It's also easy to use. Sit, cleanse, and dry using the built-in air dryer. That's right, cleaning yourself after using the bathroom is now hands-free. Remember, a-hole is only a dirty word if you wipe. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code CHAT. Mason Graham, folks, recorded a 43% pass rush win rate against the Packers. The average, if you don't know, for a defensive tackle is 9%. Cleveland's coaching staff said the one thing they wanted to see more of from Mason Graham this week was ability to get to the quarterback, was pass rush ability, because he's been a run stuffer. There's no doubt about that. But we haven't seen him get to the QB. Well, he did so against the Packers. I mean, his game is starting to translate really well to the NFL. And it makes you wonder, after all the buzz in the NFL draft this year, when Cleveland traded the number 2 pick to Jacksonville, because people thought Travis Hunter is a generational talent. How can you pass on him? Now, Hunter's been okay, but he's struggled a little bit in Jacksonville so far. They also received the 104th overall pick, Bashul Tutin, and then Raywan Lane, a safety who you not only haven't heard of, but you'll probably never hear of ever again in the NFL. Mason Graham ends up in Cleveland with that number 5 pick, and Quinshon Judkins with the 36th overall pick. That's what Jacksonville gave to the Browns. Not to mention Dylan Sampson as well at 126. I mean, these are 3 impact rookies that are going to make a difference for the Browns right away. Oh, by the way, Cleveland gets a first-round pick in 2026 from Jacksonville as well as Mason Graham, Quinshon Judkins, and Sampson. Folks, that's a haul. That's going to help Cleveland for years. So what do you think after revisiting it? Who won that trade in this year's NFL draft? Type CLE if you think the Browns won the trade. Type JAC if you think the Jaguars getting Travis Hunter makes up for all of that. But look at that haul for your Cleveland Browns, folks. One more thing we can laugh at is the Cincinnati Bengals got blown out. LOL, 48-10. They are trash without Joe Burrow. We could jump them in the standings this year, folks. We could end up seeing the Bengals 4th in the AFC North. Just thought I'd get that on the screen so we can all laugh at that 48-10 scoreline. But thank you so much for sticking with me here on the Browns Report. Head on over to X, follow me at JoeyO70 to talk more Cleveland Browns football, and I'll give you some more stats and news on there. But thank you so much for watching, folks. We appreciate you tuning in as always, and we'll see you next time on the Browns Report.